0809-444-0981. On YouTube, we're streaming live. You can use the live chat option to leave a message. You can send a message through Twitter with the hashtag Business Express 981.
All right. And if you have the hookup on MTN shares, please send a message. Because honestly, that's all I want to talk about today. Eromosele is with us. Eromosele. Good morning, Eromosele.
Good morning.
Welcome. Well, we have to talk about other stuff first, like the stock market performance from yesterday. Still down 0.48% was where the market closed yesterday. That's in the red zone. 28,286 points. Let's see now. As far as the market is concerned, we're still down by 10% so far this year. I think share drops in of price, the drop in price in shares of Dangote Cement, Access Bank, UBA, Forte Oil. Part of the reason why the market was down yesterday. We only had 11 gainers, 17 losers. I want to now go into whether MTN can juice this up. But first, before we start that, so let's go into inflation. So inflation is out for April. I think we've seen the first rise in 3 months. Yeah. 11.37, Abi?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 11, indeed.
11.37 for the month.
So
partly driven by higher food prices.
Food, of course, it's food.
During the period.
Yeah. So it's pretty much food prices.
Yeah.
That's essentially what we're seeing with inflation. Okay, let's get to what we really want to talk about. Well, if anybody else wants to talk about inflation, so you're fine. It's, send a message. But essentially, it's food prices that pushed up. I think food inflation was I think we went to 13.7. Yeah, 13.7% year on year food inflation, which was an increase from 13.45 in March. So that's essentially what pushed inflation. So let's move now back to the market. Everyone said, do you think? Where do I even start? I don't know where to start. So there's so much to talk about. Okay, let's talk about the share price. It's been determined that MTN, which is listing today by introduction on the stock exchange, is supposed to be listing at 90 naira per share. Now I know people are going to ask, Rotus, what magic did they use to determine this price? They said it was internal. This is what I'm reading now. Internal transactions between private shareholders of MTN over the last 180 days, over the last 6 months. I guess that sounds reasonable.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, that's a reasonable basis for coming up with the price.
With that price.
This is what has been provided by the company. But like you said, with the sort of buzz that this listing has generated.
The buzz is heavy. The buzz is heavy, Eromosele.
It's quite clear that we should expect to see some significant price appreciation once the shares are actually listed on the exchange, to the point that there might even be some sort of scarcity. And between yesterday and this morning, I know how many calls I've gotten from individuals that are just asking how they can buy some of the shares. But I think the advice would be to reach out to your broker.
Exactly. And in fact, thank you. Nairametrics has an article on that. If you're on how to actually get a hold of this. Well, we've talked about this time without number on this show. As you've said, you take some money, I think a minimum of whatever amount it is, reach out to a broker. Hey, it's like opening a bank account, Abi. I would like to open an account in order to buy shares. But now, as far as the number of shares that are being issued, is 20.3 billion shares, I believe, right? Yeah, so the market cap is about $6 billion, about 1.8 trillion naira, putting them second only to Dangote. I think Dangote is about 3.2 trillion or so market cap. Another thing, when we talk about the stock markets creating wealth for people, this is what we're talking about, right? This is how it works.
Definitely. I mean, if you look at the value that MTN has been able to deliver over the years, in terms of the financial performance of the company, you can see why a lot of investors would be interested in putting these funds in. MTN operates in a space that is ideal for a retail market. Right. So regardless of your income bracket, you probably use a mobile phone. Right. You probably have
browsing, all that good stuff.
With all that, it's positive for the company. Population size, demographics, all that. have driven the earnings that we've seen for the company
and growth, because we've talked about this. Well, they've talked about expanding into 5G. We know we're still, some of us are still using, my phone claims 4G, but some of us are still in 3G. So the potential for growth with where we are, since we're still not quite developed, that's also as far as future earnings are concerned.
So that's also massive, the potential for growth as well, and those are the factors that we believe investors will probably be pricing into their decision to buy shares of the stock at the moment. This potential for growth and how far. So yes, it could be seen as a store of value and a potential opportunity to create wealth for people.
But let's face facts. Because even me, I say, okay, I'm going to try and buy some. So what are the chances of getting this stock at 19 naira today? It's slim to none. I doubt it. I mean, hey, look, but again, if you have the hookup, please, send a message. But it is the private shareholders who, or again, this is an introduction.
Yeah.
So they're not introducing new shares like an IPO.
So it's existing shares that have already been traded between
these people. So and let's get into the mind of an existing shareholder. If you are a private, okay, by the way, as far as MTN is concerned, I think 20% is held by Nigerian shareholders. The remaining 70 something is held by 80 is held by South Africa. If you're an existing shareholder and you think, because I don't even want to go into this article from Business Day and all this stuff, the hype everywhere is crazy. Would you sell? Or I mean, because you know that when the IPO happens at some point, the initial public offering, when they actually create new shares, Lord knows where the price could go. I mean, it could be
18 naira.
No, not 18. What are you talking about? It could be 150. Business Day priced it at 150. Some are saying 250. I mean, it could be crazy.
I mean, for an existing shareholder who will be willing to sell his shares, his or her shares, we'll probably be doing it at a significant premium to
the 90 naira per share
to the 90 naira, because like we've said, it's the prospects are there for growth for the company, and I mean the strong earnings that they've delivered over the years would suggest that it is one of the stocks that the investors should seem to have in their portfolios. But I mean, you never know.
You never know, right? So anyway, if my advice to you, what I'm doing, if you're about to go and trade today, go and tell your broker to maybe try 100 naira or try offering 150. Who knows? Try different price. It's a market. This is how a market works, right? If you say you're selling something, you go out and everybody bids and then sees what they can get. Okay, finally, this is the caliber. When we talk about increasing the depth and the quality in the Nigerian stock exchange, these are the type of companies we're talking about. Yeah, when we're looking about, okay, what catalysts would excite the market, but essentially looking for, when you talk about, when people who have unfortunately criticized the president of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, telling him that, look, he needs to go out and try and induce more quality companies to come and list on the exchange. It's the quality of an MTN that we're looking for. Yeah, that's
I mean, I guess that goes along with increasing product offerings to investors in the market. So moving away from traditional, probably tier 1 banks, some consumer names. Now we have things in telecoms. Whether this will be enough to spur other, because we have quite a number of huge companies
that just haven't listed. Right.
Whether this will be able to spur other companies to come list,
the different story
on that, really.
So Glow, Airtel, all you other guys out there, if you can also come and help us list. All right, okay, let's move on. We've talked enough about MTN. But I'm sure we have messages.
Prince says, well, please, I don't understand this MTN share price thing. My company has a private share of MTN, has had it since 2011.
Hey,
and it's currently valued at 1,000 naira per share. Are you making this?
I mean, that's come on, Prince. Are you putting us on?
What is the difference between the private held shares and the one they're introducing right now?
But that's the thing, Prince. So your company is a perfect example. You're saying you guys have held shares for a while. So Prince's company can come on. It can come on the. He does, eh?
He said the company is a subsidiary of one of the companies that comes on your show weekly.
But that's the perfect example. So the introduction, Prince's company, since they already hold, is the one that will come and sell what they have on the exchange.
Exactly.
Right. And so if you are claiming, fine. So if his company is thinking that the shares are worth 1,000, which is that is I mean, that's in the stratosphere. But if he's claiming that that's what they feel is valued at, they won't sell at less than that amount.
Exactly.
Right.
So again, it's the demand and supply thing.
Exactly.
That's what's going to drive prices higher.
It's pretty simple
at the end of the day.
Yeah. Interesting. Prince, please send me a message. You can hook us up. I'm joking. All right, what other messages do we have? Okay, keep moving. Okay, the Pan Atlantic University is introducing a master's in film production. Their School of Media and Communications at Pan Atlantic University introduced a new program, an MSc in film production, aimed at deepening experience in Nollywood. What do you think? I thought I was a filmmaker who was very, very cynical about this news piece who I was talking to yesterday. He didn't feel this was going to do anything, but I was positive. I mean, we need more filmmakers in Nigeria. What do you think, Eromosele?
Yeah, I mean, I think the interest in Nollywood has been growing. We're starting to see better quality movies come out, and also I guess this could possibly be a positive for that space. But I know, like you mentioned, some things about like cost of equipment and some of the challenges that are faced. Yes, those still exist, but if we're starting to see a lot better quality come out from there, then it means we'll probably start to see increased funding go into that space as well, which will also be positive for development of that space.
Exactly. And it's a growing industry, especially creative industry. On a general note, which is why the Central Bank of Nigeria is showing very keen interest.
The loans, that 500 and something million.
They're planning to introduce into that is actually in billions. So Yinka sent in a message, says people are going to so rush these MTN shares, and in fact I just did a quick math on how much minimum I can get considering my salary. Rotus, tell me what people are we looking at considering the rush? I don't want to rush into it like those people rushed into King's Landing for safety.
No, Yinka, I don't know who's going to sell at that price because of the potential.
I doubt it. Yeah. Who is this? Ibrahim, please add your name to your messages so we can take them. He said, hold on, Dangote capitalization on over 30% of the entire Nigerian stock exchange market cap. Make that man president already.
But once NCN comes, I think the NCN is going to exceed that if the IPO happens later on.
And MI says, good one for the yellow people. There will definitely be lots of speculative pricing going down today. So I will give it time. When the chips are down like sharks, we dive in.
MI is a sharp investor. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And Benga Couple says, we hope the masters will not be merely theoretical, but practically oriented. Too.
Okay, the Pan Atlantic, the film. Thank you, Benga. Yes.
Very good point there. Olufemi says, Rotus, why advise someone to offer 100 naira or 150 for MTN? And 91 is more like it.
No, I'm saying that's what Business Day and other people were valuing. It wasn't me.
80 or 50.
Like, good luck.
People worry that this will sooner or later dilute the shares and lose value. Advising not to be the first movers. I do not think so, though. Investment is
sentiment, I think. Yeah.
Okay, but we should apply and pay for it.
Interesting. Let's see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Very interesting day. We'll be monitoring the markets tomorrow on Tech Friday reports and see how it goes.
Like King Shark.
Eromosele, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your messages. I appreciate as well. And all right.
Thank you. Stay tuned to Smooth Breakfast. We have nice music as lined up for your listening pleasure. At 7:30, we'll bring you the flagship show. It's called Freshly Pressed 981, where we'll analyze in detail the newspaper stories this morning.
Business trends beyond the headlines.